Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to another rendition of Mannimal Research, our live show that we put on for you guys every week, every Wednesday. Glad to have you. Glad to have everybody that's going to watch it tonight, along with all those that are going to be watching it later. We certainly appreciate it. I am joined tonight, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ricky Weaver. How you doing tonight, Ricky?
Doing good, man. You?
Not bad, buddy. Not bad at all. We got a very special guest on tonight, Mr. Michael Patterson. A lot of people know who Michael is. His story has gotten around. He was stalked one night by him and a party of his, like 5, 6, 7 people, were stalked by a white Bigfoot in Virginia. So we're gonna have him come on. We're trying something a little different tonight for all of our regulars. We're having to interview Michael over the phone, and it's a first time for us. We appreciate your feedback. Let us know how it turns out. 'Cause like I said, it's the first time for everything, and we are experimenting tonight. But his story is awesome, and we wanted to definitely bring it to you guys. Like always, want to ask everybody to check out the website mannimalresearch.com. On there, you will find links to email either myself or Ricky or our buddy Walls. You can also get a hold of him. Guys, report your your encounters. Report your sightings for us. We sure would appreciate it. Sorry about that. Had a little trouble. Yeah, guys, go to that site and report your encounters to us. Email us if you guys want to remain anonymous. We can certainly do that. Or if you guys wanted to come on to and appear on a show of ours, we can certainly work that out too. Because we believe that learning their behavior, the best way to do that is from eyewitness accounts, and it's just as important as the actual field research. Ricky, what about you, buddy? You had anything going on lately?
Uh, Not a lot this week. Fixing to get out this coming weekend. But Wayne, I've got a report that was sent to me, and I verified this report as it being true and honest. It was sent to me from Virginia, and us having Michael on tonight, I was wanting to read this to the viewers and just give them a little heads up on what's going on in Nelson County, Virginia.
Okay.
It'll take just a couple of minutes here. This was issued by the state police investigating reports of rocks thrown at a car's after driver's death. Nelson County, Virginia. Virginia State Police are investigating tips that indicate a woman who was killed when a large rock smashed through her windshield in Nelson County earlier this month may have been a victim of someone who has continued throwing rocks at vehicles even after the fatal crash. According to police, on Sunday, March 1st, 58-year-old Veronica L. Jones of Lynchburg was driving a 2019 Chevrolet Camaro along Patrick Henry Highway, Route 151, when her Camaro ran off the right side of the road just south of Fishertown Lane, hit a sign and then an embankment, and then was knocked back onto Route 151 and off the left side of the highway, striking a pile of logs and a utility pole before coming to a stop. That's in the Manassas Mill area. Jones, who was wearing a seatbelt, died at the scene. A state trooper investigated the crash. A trooper found that a large rock had smashed through the Camaro's windshield and was still inside the vehicle. Troopers determined that the rock hit Jones and most likely killed her before the impact of the crash. Following the
Oh, man.
death, which remains under investigation, police began working to find the origin of the 5-pound rock. They asked the community for help to track down anyone who may have witnessed the crash, which took place between 8:20 and 8:30 p.m. on that Sunday. Then nearly a week later at 12:17 p.m. on Saturday, March 7th, state troopers responded to a call from a driver traveling in the 700 block of Gunter Hollow Lane in Nelson County. That's only about 2 miles east of where Jones died on March 1st. The driver told police large rocks were being thrown at the vehicle. He did not suffer any injuries in the incident, but following Jones's death, police immediately deployed multiple resources in the area to search for the person or persons responsible for throwing the rocks. Man, I just wanted to put that out there and tell everybody in that area of Nelson County to be very careful.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That's the first I've heard of that. We bring Michael on here in just a minute or two. We'll ask him if he's heard anything about that. I don't know if he was able to hear you reading it or not, but want to get his input since, like you said, he is in Virginia. That's crazy. I appreciate you reading that, Ricky. I do. All right, everything that has been said tonight, like again, we're going to be talking to Michael over the phone. So what I'm going to do is we already got a few people watching. Ask you guys, Todd, Walls, Jonathan, if y'all would comment in the comments, let us know how you hear Michael. Just let us know if y'all can hear him okay, or just any comments or any suggestions y'all might have. We would appreciate it. And before we bring Michael on, I just have one other little quick thing. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to pound religion down anybody's throat or anything like that, because I know I don't like it when people do that. But I do feel compelled to say that I've been in church the last month or so, and I've been enjoying it. And I feel like God's been working in my heart and has been talking to me a bit. And guys, I can tell you that my life has improved ever since I've been in church, and prayer does work. And again, I'm not going to push anything down your throat, so that's all that's going to be said about it. But I do have a little bit of a platform here. It's not a very big one, but it is a platform. And I just wanted to say that before we got started. All right, Ricky, you ready to bring Michael on?
Oh yeah, bring him on.
Michael, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, very good. Were you able to hear the little story that Rick was reading?
Bits and pieces of it. It was cutting in and out.
Have you heard about the incidents going on in Virginia with a lady being killed in an auto accident where she was hit by a rock?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, that's odd. Ricky was just reading that and said it was a 5-pound rock the one that killed her.
Yeah, they had a similar incident in Virginia a few weeks ago. Somebody was shooting in cars. They think it was doing it with a BB gun from overpasses. And then a friend of mine, he lives in Eden, North Carolina. He's a bondsman, and his wife was going down Highway 14 outside of Eden, and she went under an underpass, and somebody shot out one of her windows.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. It's obviously the first thing I thought about when Rick started talking about rocks being thrown at vehicles. I thought about Bigfoot. They're known to throw rocks at people, and people say they don't like automobiles. So I didn't know if maybe that might have been some kind of connection or not.
You never know.
Yeah, that is crazy. Michael, we talked to you just a little bit, buddy. First thing I want to ask you is before this night, and tell us when it was it happened, but before the actual encounter, what was your knowledge of Bigfoot? And did you believe?
I was a skeptic, man. I mean, this was in the late 80s, and, I was interested in it. And, like if one of them 80s documentaries came on about Bigfoot, I'd catch it, or, I'd read the odd story in there. But truthfully, I was pretty much a skeptic, especially for this area, because, I thought that, Sasquatch was a Pacific Northwest thing in, Canada. I had no idea, how wrong I really was. But yeah, Sasquatch was the furthest thing from all our minds that night. Actually, even after it happened, because the color of it, we went for almost 3 decades, and we didn't even know what chase does. I didn't find out till a few years ago that people were even seeing white ones. So for a long time, we knew he was chasing. We seen it, but we had no idea it was a Sasquatch.
Wow, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, man. All that being said, yeah, buddy. Just walk us into your encounter. Tell us all about it. All the details that you can remember, buddy. The floor's yours.
Yeah, it was summer of 1989. I want to say late July, and it's bright out. It was a full moon. If not full, it was pretty close. And I remember it was real hot. One of them kind of hot you remember. And I was with 6 friends of mine, and one of them was a female. And let me say, we was all around 18. We was all right around the 18 year of age. And one of my friends was a female. She used to sneak out to be with her boyfriend, which was one of my other friends with us. And that's actually how she ended up with us. That'll be important later on, but I just wanted to let you know. But yeah, we ended up. They wanted to drink. It was a Saturday night. We had a fishing tournament coming up, big catfish tournament, and we was, excited about that. They decided they wanted to drink and was looking for someplace safe. When you're 18 and you want to drink, it ain't legal, and not only that, parents don't like it either. They wanted to kind of get off a beaten path, and so we decided on going to White Oak Mountain Wildlife Management Area, and we've been up there a bunch of times during the day. The place has got 12 ponds on it, and we used to go up there and crappie fish, and I had been down that deep a few times, but I'd never been down there at nighttime. Every time we ever fished, it was during the day. We never did try the crappie lights or nothing. That dark, we usually would pull out of there. But anyway, I was with a buddy of mine when I picked everybody up. He had been drinking kind of heavy. I was a designated driver. I was going to drink late on that night after everything settled down. I hadn't had my license long, and I didn't want to lose it. And anyway, so we decided on going up there, and we did a little four-wheeling, just four-wheel high stuff. No mud or nothing, just down the old service road, and it come out down the very bottom. That place is 3,000 acres. It's huge, and you get on down in now, and this is back before roads were named. If you didn't know where you was going, you get lost. It's before the 911 system. Anyway, we got way down deep in there, and we pulled over. We just pulled over on the side of the road. Everybody got out, and they commenced to doing what they come to do. They was drinking, and it was I remember it was real quiet that night. And normally in I don't know if Tennessee is like Virginia, but in the summertime we get flooded with cicadas. And my buddy made a comment that night, and it really didn't mean nothing to me until years later. He said, "Man, it's quiet down here tonight," and he was right. I was glad. Really, I was glad it was. I didn't want to have to holler over it, but we didn't hear no cicadas, no whippoorwills, no insects, nothing. Anyway, they got out and got to drinking and stuff, and we was joking and kidding around. We had the radio going, low, nothing loud. And we weren't being loud, we weren't being rowdy or nothing like that. And man, we've been down there probably about half an hour. I want to say round about 11:30, I guess. And man, all of a sudden, about 50 yards behind me, 50, 75 yards behind me, we all heard it was a huge crash. It was either something fell out of a tree or a tree got pushed over. I don't know which one of the two it was. I never investigated it. But it could have been either one, either something massive jumping out of a tree or a tree going over. And right after that happened, we started hearing footsteps. And I mean heavy footfall, man. I mean, it was stepping with authority. And it was definitely on two legs. I mean, that was obvious. And right at the same time it started walking, it started making a real guttural, growling, grunting sound. It was a little unnerving, but I mean, it wasn't nothing, to make you question your sanity or nothing. It was just unusual. But it definitely sounded agitated. You could tell it wasn't too happy. But it started moving away from us. And I had one of those, it was 1 million candle power halogen spotlights. This was years ago before LED. It had the old telephone cord on it. You plug into your cigarette lighter. And I plugged that up, and I throwed the light a couple times trying to get an eyeball on it. And it was just so thick right there. Every time I throwed the light between the pine thicket and the kudzu, it was just blowing the light right back in my eyes and blinding me. And I did that twice. I didn't do it no more. Not in that area because it was blinding me. I couldn't see nothing after I'd done it for a minute or two. But anyway, it kind of put me at ease because, like I said, it started moving away from us. And it was moving kind of in a semicircle. And at the time, I had no idea why I was doing that. But after I know why I'd done it, here in a little while, I know exactly why I'd done it. But it just steady, the grunting, the growling, and the stomping, and, just footfall. And it got right to the edge of the woods where it was an open field, about 150 yards down behind us. And, man, it cut loose with a scream / howl, roar. I mean, it hit every decibel. I've never heard anything like that. It was living that loud. I mean, the only thing, a train maybe. I mean, it was horribly loud. It scared all of us to death. I thought it was going to bust the windows in the truck. And it distorted my vision for a second. I mean, my eyeball vibrated. And right after it done that, it stepped out into the opening when I throwed the light on it. And when the light hit it, man, oh my God, our lives changed forever right there. Nothing is normal no more. Everything changed. I measured, anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. It was around 8.5 feet, and I know that for a fact. I'll explain in a little while. It was about 8.5 feet, and it was about 4.5 feet wide. Mm. And I mean, the forearms were just ridiculous. I think about Popeye. Every time I think about the forearms, I think about Popeye. But yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. And I got some eye shine off of it. It was it kind of flew from green to yellow when I hit it with the light, and it was weaving left to right, left to right, left to right. It never stopped that motion, left to right. And to put it in perspective, it's 2 o'clock, and we were about 30 feet above it. In order to get to the road we were on, it had to come up a 30-foot embankment just to get to the road that we were on. And, we were just frozen in fear. I mean, we couldn't move. You stuck. And it's a fear that I can't describe. Unless you ever feel it, you can't put into words what it is. But anyway, it did that for a second. And I couldn't make out a lot of facial features. The only thing I could really make out was the eyes were real far apart, and I could see the real heavy the eye bridge, the brow of the eye, the ridge of the face at the top. I made that out. I mean, I couldn't make out much else. I don't have real good eyesight, but I saw that. And,
hey, Michael.
Yeah.
Now, what all did you see of the creature? I know you said that he was swaying back and forth, left to right. Could you see his entire body from top of the head to the feet?
Absolutely. Now, the grass that he was standing in was about probably up to our waist, but about to his calves. So
Wow.
I could see it down to the calves.
Okay.
And that I didn't make out no bunch of muscle definition. I didn't see any breasts. It was burly. It wasn't fat. I'm all for fat. It was just burly. It was kind of hard to explain. You'd have to see it, but it won't cut up like Schwarzenegger or nothing.
Yeah.
But it was massive in diameter. I'm 6'3" and 250, and that thing, diameter-wise, it would take probably 3 of me. So I'm assuming somewhere around 600 or 700 pounds, easy.
My goodness.
Yeah, and it didn't really have no neck. It's crazy how the head sits. I can't even describe it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. They don't have no neck at all. And but anyway, it did that for what seemed like forever, and which probably won't but a minute or two. And then the last time it weaved to the right, it took that step and went up. It ran straight up that embankment, and it cleared those 30 feet in about 3 steps. I mean, the minute it done that, we scrambled. I mean, we scrambled. I hopped in the driver's seat. I don't even remember getting in the truck. I remember cranking it because the keys was already in it. We was listening to the radio and, the accessory and stuff. Thank God the keys was already in it. But this was a Toyota 4-wheel drive, and it had been lifted. And I had it in 4 high where we were playing a little earlier. And my biggest fear, man, when I cranked it was I was going to stall it. I didn't want to stall it. And, man, that thing get up there with us. So I floorboarded it and popped the clutch. I mean, we took off spinning gravel, and I looked. When I went from first to second, I looked up in the rear view, and I could see the torso and the park lights of the truck. I hadn't on the brakes, just the park lights was lighting the torso up. And I remember we had the guy that owned the truck had a business setting up mobile homes, and he had a 30-ton bottle jack in the back of the truck. The jack they used to jack these mobile homes up and set them on block.
Yeah.
And my other buddy that was with me, that girl's boyfriend, he grabbed that 30-ton trailer jack and throwed it at the back of the truck and hit the thing. And it just bounced off. I mean, I remember him hollering at his man. It bounced off. It bounced off. I didn't know what he was talking about. Later on, what bounced off?
He actually hit the creature.
Yeah, he hit it with a 30-ton trailer jack. And
how close was the creature?
I'm sorry?
How close? How far away was the creature from y'all at the closest point?
It was close enough for me to see his torso and the park lights. It was right on the tailgate of the truck.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Now the truck
I could see from
motion. How fast would you say you were going when he threw that bottle jack out and hit this thing?
What did he say?
He asked, how fast do you think that you were traveling when your buddy threw the jack out and hit it?
I was in second gear and winding up. I was probably about 40 at least, because I was getting ready to get to that. It's a curve. I almost lost it. And when I got on most of the way through second gear, I had to go around the curve, and the back end tried to pass the front end. And when I looked down, I was running about 40, 45, but that's why I didn't look back no more after that. When I almost wrecked that truck, that was it. I didn't look back no more. Oh my God, I wasn't trying to crash down there with that thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got away from it. I've seen it for 30 years. I honestly believe if that thing would have wanted one of us, or all of us, it could have had us. When it moved, when I told you, I knew why it was moving in a semicircle. It was putting distance between us and it. That's exactly what it was doing, and that's why it moved away from us. And then came out. I think it was sizing us up, seeing how many it was, or now this is just speculation. I don't know this. This is just me trying to make sense of it. But I think it knew exactly what it was doing, and. Anyway, it messed that girl up so bad, man. We had to take her home. She was in a fetal position. She could not breathe. She was I mean, she had cried. Well, you know, babies get the sniffles. They can't talk.
Yeah.
And she was, I mean, that's exactly like she was. And we had to take her home to her parents, man, who had no idea that she'd even left the house. And explain to these people what happened to their daughter.
I can't imagine that went over very well.
Oh, no, it didn't. I got 4 girls, and I'm going to tell you what, I wouldn't have believed the story. But we told him the truth. We told him exactly what happened. Her daddy was, and I would have been too. He was madder than hell. He was, had his arms crossed, staring at the ground, saying, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And her mama got her in the house and managed to get out of her that we hadn't hurt her. We didn't hurt her. She saw something. And her mama kept asking, you know, what did you see? She said, I don't know. It was just white. She kept telling her mama, because her mama come out the door, you know, what was white? What do you know? And her daddy was just, I mean, he was living. And I can't blame him, man. I really can't.
Yeah.
That was one of the hardest things I ever done was taking that girl home.
I bet.
But, yeah, anyway, be honest with you, once we got where we was going, I kept waiting for the law to show up. I just knew they was going to call the law, but they never did. I mean, you know, I didn't run. I mean, they knew where we was at. But anyway, that's pretty much the crux of it. That girl.
When the initial encounter began, did y'all do anything to actually intimidate this thing other than just shine the light?
What did he say?
He asked that when the encounter began, did y'all do anything to intimidate the creature? And after you answer that, one of our viewers has a question for you. But go ahead and answer Rick's.
No, not that I know of. Now that I've done a couple of other interviews, and one in particular, the guy seemed to think that the radio, because we was listening to AC/DC, and you know that's kind of an aggressive music, and he thought he's a behavior analysis. He analyzes behavior, and he said that it could have been the music, it could have been so much. It could have been it could have been hunting. You know, it ain't no telling. It could have had its family close by, a baby. No idea what we did. I've asked myself what we did for 30 years, and I've got no answer.
One of our regulars, Mr. Todd H., is asking, he says, I'm curious, does Mike remember if the girl was screaming while the creature was weaving back and forth?
I don't remember. Everybody was screaming.
While it was like moving?
Yeah, when it made that lunge, I mean, if people were screaming, I kept hearing go, go, go. I heard her scream. Everybody was screaming.
Yeah, we just had another viewer comment, AC/DC will piss them off.
Apparently, I can tell you the name of the song. It was Back in Black. I'll think about it to this day. Every time I hear that song, I think about that.
That's pretty aggressive, isn't it?
It is.
So what happens next, Michael? You get the girl home, and you've explained to her father. He's not real happy, and so what happens?
Oh yeah, he was pissed. But no, I mean we went on back down in the country where the dude that owned the truck lived. He had passed out. He'd been drinking all day. He slept through all of it. He was up in the cabin and slept through every bit of it. And but anyway, the next day we had to go back up there. He had to have it jacked for his business. He had to go to work, and you know back then you want a place to go get one of those jacks on Sunday, and so we went against my better judgment. We went back up there, and we found the jack. But the jack was 100 yards away from where it was thrown out at. That ain't never made no sense to me. I don't know if it picked it up and threw it, or if it toyed with it, or what. But it was a good 100 yards away from where it was thrown out at. If the thing hadn't been bright red, we'd have never found it.
How much does one of these jacks weigh, Michael?
About 30 pounds.
Wow. Can you imagine if that thing was thrown 100 yards?
Yeah. Well, not only that, you know, if that jack would have hit a man behind that truck, it took him off his feet, if not been fatal.
Yeah.
And it just bounced off his thing. And we found it And I'm getting ready to lead to you how I know how tall it was. I noticed when I first lit it up, it was a branch right there at the top of its head. I could see it. And we went down in there where you could see where it come up the bank. You could see all 3 steps. We was in the middle of a drought, and the forest floor was just hard as concrete and covered about 3 inches of pine needles because it was a pine thicket right there. And anyway, it was a branch. It was right above his head when I lit him up. And I measured it that day when we went back up there. It was 8.5 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, it was about 8.5 feet. And like I said, big as a piece of plywood. Anybody does any construction work, 8 by 4. That's, I mean, just massive. I mean, the mass is crazy.
Well, I bet it was about the size of a piece of plywood, isn't it? About 8 foot tall and 4 foot wide.
Yeah, exactly right.
If anybody out there can imagine a sheet of plywood, that's the creature that was looking at these guys that night. That's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it was about 4 feet wide at the shoulder. Now it started tapering down some as it went towards but not a lot. Like I said, it was burly. I won't say round. Its body was a lot like Patty's.
Okay.
You know how burly Patty is?
Yeah.
Its body's a lot like Patty, but not exactly, but a lot.
Would you say the face had more animal characteristics or human?
I couldn't make it out. I couldn't make it out. I could make out the brow ridge and the eye shine. I know the eyes were deep set because you could literally see the eyes sunk back below the brow ridge. And but as far as facial features, it would just be speculation, and I don't want to do that. I want to tell you exactly what I remember. I don't want no salt and pepper. I didn't get if I'd have been closer, maybe, but from that distance, and like I said, my eyesight's not the greatest, but I mean that thing was clear as a bell.
Now, how would you say that this encounter has affected each of you over the years? I mean, are you still in contact with your buddies?
Well, I'm in contact with a couple of them. A few of them moved away. Few passed away. She ended up, the girl, she never did really recover from it, man. She ended up dying of an overdose. She ended up overdosing, and it killed her. And I went into alcoholism, terrible drinker. And
was her overdose, was it intentional or was it an accidental?
I don't know. I went with her.
Okay. That's awful.
I have no idea.
That's awful, man. You hear about it all the time. People talk about these encounters, and that's what upsets me. You got these people out there that talk about them being the friendly forest giants. And these people, I don't understand how they can say something like that, because you have someone like you and so many others out there that have legitimately seen these things, and it affected them this way, the way that it affected you, the way that it affected the young lady and your other friends. I mean, it's PTSD is what y'all got from this. And then you hear people talking about, oh, they're friendly, they won't mess with you, and it's almost an insult, isn't it?
Well, I tell people the whole reason I do these interviews is I just want people to know that I don't want to inspire fear in anybody, but what I want people to know is you have to be prepared for everything when you go in the woods looking for these things. You have got to prepare for everything. Not all of them want to be your friend. Not all of them want to act on cue. You know, not all of them want to eat out of your gift basket. I mean, you have to prepare for everything. And, if I can get that through to just one person and it saves a life, then all these interviews will work.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Michael, you run a couple of groups on Facebook, right?
Yeah, I do.
One of them, and I'm a member of both of them, One of them is the Blue Ridge Sasquatch and Crypto Group. How long have you been running that group?
Since just before Thanksgiving. I came forward just before Thanksgiving of this past year.
Oh, okay. And the other group is the one that I'm really impressed with, because I think it speaks a lot to your character and the kind of person that you are. That you run this close encounters group, and it's a place for people that's had encounters that they can come in and share them. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a Sasquatch encounter support group.
Yeah.
I try to, if somebody wants to go on there and explain what happened to them and stuff like that, they're welcome to. And I encourage them. Look, if you don't want the stigma that comes with it, or you're scared, which nobody in my group's judges. That's one thing. Nobody. I've got some of the greatest members on the planet. None of them are judgmental. And especially in the support group, because I'll tell them in a heartbeat, message me. We'll keep it private, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I just wish, people really need to understand that information, once you go through something like this, and yes, I've been diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety. I don't go deep in the woods no more. I will not get out there by myself no more. I mean, it's totally affected that thought process. But, people just need to be, they need to be ready. They really do. I can't emphasize that enough. I can't.
Yeah. That's a cool thing that you started that group. It makes somebody or just about anybody really respect what you're doing. I respect it. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. I wish if I'd have had the information back in the 80s, that the access to information, this was dinosaur. There wasn't no internet or nothing. I mean, I walked around for 2 decades and didn't even have no idea what we saw.
That's amazing.
I didn't know that they were white. I mean, we know what we saw, but we didn't know that Sasquatch was white.
Yeah.
We had a name for. We called it the two-legged monster all our lives because we didn't know what it was. We didn't have no idea what it was.
That's funny.
Yeah, especially that one in Pennsylvania. It's one that was caught up in Pennsylvania. I forget the name of the town. It's at nighttime, and it's a white one. And Vaca broke it down real good. And that thing is real as it gets.
Yeah, I shared that in my group, Mannimal Research on Facebook. I shared 2 videos. One of them was Thinker Thunkers, and the other one was another one that a guy did a really, really good job breaking them down. And I shared both of them back to back, and had some other people share them from there. And man, that I don't know how anybody can argue with that one. Have you seen it, Ricky?
Huh?
Go on the group when we get done here, the group on Facebook, and look. It's a white Bigfoot. I'm sure you've probably seen the video. You just can't think about it. It's pretty famous. Where this guy gets a pretty close up image of a white Sasquatch, and it's in Pennsylvania, ain't it, Michael?
Yeah, I did know the name of the little town, but yeah, it was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's the Pennsylvania white Bigfoot. I shared 2 back-to-back videos in the group, Rick. You need to check it out.
I may have seen it, Wayne. I've watched so many. But yeah, as soon as we get off here, I'll check it out. Yeah. Michael, I got a question for you, bud. Since your initial encounter up there back in the 80s, do you know of anybody else having encounters with that particular creature, or any others in that area?
Good question.
Yeah, I absolutely do. One of them, a man owned he bought a right big slab of property up there on the back side of that management area, and it happened in 1992. And it's crazy how I found out about that. I was friends with the man's daughter and didn't even know what he had went through until here recently. When I came forward, she come to me and she said, Daddy saw something like that. And she had never heard my story. She just knew I started the group. And I started picking her brain, and I said, well, what did he see? She said, I don't know. She said, all he said was it was a big white beast. And when she said white, my jaw hit the floor. And he saw that was right about on the same area I was in, and that man sold his property.
Really?
And then, yes, sir. And then it was another sighting 5 miles away in 2016. And I'm friends with the guy. And he's actually a member of my group, and he's done a couple of interviews. He's got a great thermal hit. He's got a FLIR, and he's had more than just that one. He encountered it in 2016 when he had his mother and his daughter with him. And I won't mention no names. I'll introduce you to him because he's okay with it. But
yeah,
I'm friends with him now. I mean, we talk. We met on Facebook, believe it or not. We don't live 10 minutes from each other, and we met in a big group on Facebook. And he called me, and we was on the phone for 2 hours that night. He seen it in 2016.
Yeah, Michael, put him in touch with me if you don't mind.
Yeah, I will. When I get his permission to share his name, then I'll message it to you.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'd like to talk to him too, and that's a good question, Ricky. So you know of at least a couple more encounters in that area with, it would have to be the same one. You don't see a whole lot of white Sasquatch running around, so man, that's interesting.
In other words, this creature's been around the place for 25, 27 years.
What's that, Ricky?
I said this creature has actually been in that area for 25, 27 years. Give or take.
Yeah, did you hear that, Michael?
I didn't.
He was saying, so this creature has been in that area for the last 25 to 27 years.
Either that or it's the same bloodline, because the one that my buddy saw, he said it was blonde. And that is very well within the realm of possibility, because the one we saw was white, but it was dingy. And it could have easily been, but halogen light's got a lot of yellow in it. It ain't like LED. Old car headlights, just halogen light. So that means that thing could have been, blonde or real super light gray. It just, to us, it looked like a dingy white. Like it was white, but it was dirty.
Now, how the video that we were talking about with that we were just talking about with the white one, where you get his face on the camera, how far? You said you knew the town. How far is that town from where your encounter happened?
Oh, it's a couple hundred miles, but I'll let you in. I've been doing nothing but research for the past year, around the clock. I'll watch, read everything I can get my hands on, and I've got a little bit of a theory. These 3 encounters that happened that I know of, that God only knows how many happened I don't know of, but all of them happened right here at the Seminole Trail, the trail the Indians took down the East Coast. And I believe that these things are using the Seminole Trail because it goes all the way up north, all the way down to Florida. And I also believe they're using the Appalachian Trail.
No, we and Ricky especially will agree with you on the Appalachian Trail. We live right here on it, and we get all kind of encounters there. Ricky's actually writing a book about all the encounters that's happened on the Appalachian Trail. But that's interesting about the Seminole Trail.
Yeah.
So do you think they migrate?
I've toyed with the idea. I don't know enough about the thing about them is the more I learn about them, the less I know. The
Exactly.
the minute you solve one question, you got 3 or 4 more looking at you.
That's right.
And your research is never done. I tell people 2 things all the time. First one is, you want to encounter Bigfoot, quit looking for him. Go out there where it's in a hot spot and do your normal thing. He will find you. And I tell people all the time, because Sasquatch never crossed our minds. That was the furthest thing from our minds.
Yeah.
I got so into that first one, I forgot the second one. I reckon it'll come to me. But no, man. I believe they're using the Seminole Trail. I mean, it's path of least resistance. I don't know if they migrate or not. I've toyed with the idea.
It's odd that you had that run in all those years ago with the white one, and then that video comes out in the same state with a white one. You might be onto something there when you talk about the bloodline. I mean, it could,
Yeah, I know it. The one in Pennsylvania, it's real white. I mean, it's clean white.
Mm-hmm.
The one we seen, like I said, it was kind of dingy. It won't well kept. The one in Pennsylvania is, I mean, that thing. I mean, it's as white as it can be.
Yeah.
The one we saw, it won't. It had a little matted hair, and it was, just unkept.
Yeah.
Unkept. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Ricky, you got anything else for Michael before we let him go? Coming up on an hour here.
No, he's pretty well covered the entire spectrum here.
Yeah, you've done this a few times, haven't you, Michael?
Yeah, several.
I just like to reiterate to everyone, and I do this basically on about every show, is if you're out in the woods, whatever, and you come across these things, please just whatever you're doing, just drop it back out. Let these creatures have the area, because as I've always said, these creatures are very strong. We don't know what it takes to agitate these things, to upset them. So just please back out for your own safety, and let them be.
Yeah, that's right. Michael, buddy, we appreciate you coming on.
Oh yeah, man, my pleasure. Like I said, I do everyone I can, man. I want to get that message out there that I see a lot of people on these videos and stuff that I'm just thinking to myself, oh no, don't do it that way. People they brave. I hope nobody ever has an encounter like we did. I mean, I didn't say anything about it in the interview, but the three of us lost control of our bladder that night. That's how bad it scared everybody.
You hear it all the time, man. You hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you've been talking for a little bit. Michael and I have back and forth on Facebook Messenger, and this is a good guy, y'all. He really is. Like I said, he started these two groups. He's helping a lot of people out, and you do help people out when you come forth with your encounter. And Michael has certainly done that. He's a good guy. And Michael, I appreciate you coming on, buddy. I can't say that enough.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure being here. Thank you guys.
All right, buddy. You have yourself a good night.
No, you too.
All right, guys. There you have it. Ricky, thoughts?
Very scary encounter.
Absolutely. I know you had talked to Michael a while back and was going to get him to come on, and I guess y'all lost contact or something. And I happened to find him on Facebook, and we got him on that way. The thing that matters is he came on and told his story, and it's a good one.
Right, and basically what he told me, he reiterated the same story tonight. So I have no disbelief whatsoever in what happened to the man, and I feel for him. I really do. Like I said, I've had encounters with these things. We've had rocks thrown at us, all kind of crazy stuff, but nothing actually to that extent. Whereas I haven't actually seen that the creature up as close as what he has, and had that type of encounter. But
yeah,
man, it's wild, and I can actually see by his by his encounter, by what happened to him, you know, I can see why it actually freaks so many people out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're gonna cut this week's episode just a little bit short. Unless you got anything else, Ricky, we'll jump off here. You got anything?
No, that's it, man.
All right, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in to the show. Like always, I want to ask everybody to go check out the website, mannimalresearch.com. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, what's wrong with you? You need to go ahead and do that. We appreciate it. All of that being said, appreciate you guys stopping in, and we will see you next time.
See you guys. Appreciate it.